I don't know how many conclusions I could draw, particularly about Berlin and German politics, not least because the focus is so heavily on the refugee crisis in German politics just at the moment. But I think that in my own experience, I can at least bring things down to a practical level, talking from my own personal experience. So we talk about in the Five Freedoms, freedom of movement of capital, for example. When I move as an EU citizen to Berlin, I can't do a credit check. They can't check that I have enough money to pay my rent. So I can't get a flat, which means I have no rights of a place to live. I get turfed out of the flat that I live in because I've got no rights as a result of no one being able to check that the money that I earned in the UK was legitimate. I can't choose very easily a different mobile phone provider from another European country because I don't have an address somewhere else, and because Deutsche Telekom is a fundamentally non-competitive, not effective firm, I have horribly high mobile phone bills and a horribly low home internet connection. And in response to Pascal and me, that's exactly the sort of reason why we've not completed the digital single market. It's because they've got tons of people lobbying down the road here to make sure that those things stay competitive, to maintain their own business bottom line, rather than finding a structure to allow business owners that Gunnar was just talking about to actually foster a properly competitive market. I can't get things shipped to me in Berlin because most online people selling me goods will not ship adequately internationally. My mobile phone, when I change my app store from the British one to a German one, I lose all of my apps which I purchased legitimately in the UK. This is every day a single market. Yeah? For the individual, it doesn't actually work. Right? And that is essentially the problem. If I want to found a business somewhere else, I can do that. If I've got enough money and I'm pushy enough, I can manage to do that somewhere else. But actually, the everyday practice of what happens when you cross borders as a European citizen is still completely inadequate. And essentially, until you basically solve that kind of issue, then you can't achieve that legitimacy. And when I hear debates in Brussels, people go, well, we can't really adequately do anything about mobile phone roaming because not everyone roams all of the time. Yeah? That's 45% of European citizens that need that when they go on a holiday. And I hear in Brussels we shouldn't be dealing with that because it doesn't impact everyone's life. So, sorry to kind of be talk basic everyday problems in all of that. But that's just that's a quick summary of what I face on an everyday basis. Yeah, and that's before we even get on to Schengen and borders, when I keep on being subjected to passport controls where there shouldn't be any. So I want to try and connect some of that sort of ideas of ethics, of visions, down to the kind of everyday practice. And it strikes me there's a huge chasm between those things. And until we start to bridge that, then we're going to continue to have a problem.
Everyone wants competition until you get it. And this is very true. And this is what I would say one of the most important things with the launch of this project. We need to create a magnitude of want for change, so we can overcome all these small kingdoms who want to defend their small monopolies, because monopolies are going further along the road of metaphors. Monopolies are like small children. If they are others, you dislike when they are coughing and screaming. And if they are your own, you like them. So this is, we need to create a magnitude of want for change. And the good thing is that we have been able to deliver that in the past. Because it is not only the picture of yours you gave now. That is totally true and right. But this is the reason for why we need to go further. Because if Deutsche Telekom can't develop better, there will never be a global player. There will be a German player. But there will be that in the capacity, not of competitiveness, but of their incumbency. And this is one of the many European challenges.